Now, when you perform an action, when an opposite reaction is produced, that will deliver you the results. When the karma starts giving its result, the results may be agreeable to you or may not be agreeable. When you find it is not agreeable, you pray to God. What does God do? He gives you the enough strength to handle the situation. Because, in essence, things per se in the world do not cause you happiness or misery. The things which you have liked at the age of 15 or 18 would not be giving you the same happiness. Sometimes it may even cause you unhappiness. And the other way, what had caused you unhappiness would be giving you pleasure now. So, the real truth behind our happiness or unhappiness is not because of the things, but because of our reaction to it and our perception of it. So that is what we have to be very careful about. So this when you pray, what happens is your mind gets focused and you become hardened enough to handle the situations by yourself. So Vishnu Sahasranama at a later stage says Vishnu is being addressed as Dukkha Sadhana. He is the repository of sorrow, fountainhead of sorrow. Then the next sentence says, he is the Dukkha Sadhana. He gives you the way out. He is the instrument of getting away from it. So, this is the purpose. If somebody wants to question, or if you want to know why you are praying, it is a question of you are trying to find answer to three eternal questions: where we have come from, where are we, and where do we go from here. And what we are more than this flesh and bone. To seek an answer to this, we go for spirituality. In this process, when the rishis have found out the reality to be an abstract principle consisting of qualities which we cannot perceive with our limited faculties. Therefore, they have described it in numerous terms in a way that we can try to understand. But what happens is, when you are trying to understand something which you do not really know, you try to find some, comparisons and try to explain. But when it becomes not possible in this case of a reality, they go by excluding some quality. Supposing you are looking at a film, let us see. Somebody asks you, is this film like this? No. This film like this. So you keep on saying. Finally, you arrive at something. Similarly, when they are describing the Parabrahma, which your mind cannot perceive, it is not this, it is not this, it is neither big, nor small, neither tall, nor short, nor middle, it is self-evident. Now, when you look at it very carefully, it may look as if it is not. It is not. What happens is, when you start excluding something, if you start feeling for it, there is something that remains. Just as, despite having changes taken in you, physically, emotionally, mentally, and ideologically, people still identify you as the same Ashwini who was at the age of 5 or 10 or 15. There is some substratum which runs through the whole universe. That is called the reality. But now you have to remember two things. I said earlier, the happiness or sorrow which we give in this world is not due to the things which we are familiar. It is rather due to our reaction or our coming ascribing certain values, our ascribing value. If we say that ice cream tastes good, ice cream does not ascribe its quality of goodness to it. We say it tastes good. Ice cream doesn't say. For some people, the ice cream doesn't taste good. So again, it doesn't say I do not. Similarly, I have said this. This is because of your chitta, your attitude. Now, how to control your chitta to be relieved of the samsara. Samsara here means, that is, when you are born, there is one thing is certain in life. You can never be certain of anything else. One thing is you are certain, if you are born, you are going to die.
Correct.
But if you are dead, whether you are going to be reborn is a hypothesis. I can't confirm it because I am not dead yet. So, but I am born, I know death is there. But during this process, we go through lot of things in life. The first one is that despite our being qualified for everything, we don't get results. The two, people who are not less qualified, they achieve success. Third, we don't, things happen the way they are happening despite our not liking it or to our disadvantage. We don't know the reason. So, this is essentially because our mind is not prepared to accept these things. So, how to do it? So, the source of your happiness or unhappiness lies in the way you perceive it or how you react. This is done by who? By who? What? By your mind, we normally call. In Indian philosophy, there are 5 sense organs. That is, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, and the sense of touch. In addition to that, Indian philosophy calls mind is also a sense organ, like your eyes or ears. The only difference is these 5 sense organs you are able to see, mind you cannot see, because its vibration is subtle. I'll deal with it a little later when it comes, when that opportunity comes. So, when you are concentrating, so the mind. So, mind is essentially a CPU, it only collects information. It does not give a factual judgment, nor does it give a value judgment. It simply collects information. But your intellect, called buddhi, says it is correct, it is incorrect, factual, and it is good or bad. Moral judgment or ethical judgment is also passed by your buddhi. How does buddhi work? Because it is directed by chitta. So chitta is the level which directs your mind. So if you have to regulate your mind and make sure that you don't feel happy or unhappy about things that happen around you, what is it that you have to regulate? Obviously chitta, right? So when this is the definition of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Yoga, it is not the realization of God, Patanjali says. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. First sutra of Patanjali. That is the cessation of modification of Chitta is called Yoga. Yoga in Sanskrit means union. Union, simple word is union. Union between the individual self and the Supreme Self is Yoga. Now this is achieved by channelizing, not curbing, channelizing the modification, that is making it null and void. For this, there are a lot of procedures. One procedure is Jnana Yoga, through your knowledge, which normally is done by Shankaracharya. He has followed everything. Then you have Karma Yoga, then you have Bhakti Yoga. Then Raja Yoga is something which comes under this yoga. These are the 4 paths. These paths, one can choose either of these paths depending on one's own interest and disposition. For example, for my inclination, I may choose Bhakti Yoga. You may choose Karma Yoga. And you may even change in the midway. There is no standard. If somebody says you follow Bhakti Yoga only, you then realize it is wrong. It is totally like what you like eating. Somebody likes sambar, somebody likes rasam. Similarly, religion is highly personal. You like it, you do it. There is no comment on that. Only you know what is better. So, that is the way this goes. Out of these 4 processes, the essential point lies in your regulating your chitta. So, ultimately, they lead to a point where the chitta is meditated upon. Meditated upon is looking inward. You are looking inward. That's it. Looking inward is meditation. You start looking at yourself rather than ourselves. Many of us, with whom do we spend the least time in our life? Can you guess?
Family.
Family. Then?
Maybe ourselves.
Correct answer is, we don't spend time with us. You have to spend time with you. In the sense, that you would like to know what exactly you are. I don't think many people do that. It is not being crazy. It's a question of, because the greatest thing a man doesn't know is that about himself. Nobody knows about himself. I don't know how I will react the next moment. So that is where your meditation starts. When you start analyzing yourself, even at the lokayata, practical level, you will come to know about the philosophical question. So this is where everything boils down. Your question of your regulating. Never use the term controlling in Indian philosophy. There is nothing called control, because everything is a natural flow. You may be surprised to know there is no word in Sanskrit to describe something supranormal. There is nothing is a miracle, nothing is a supranormal, nothing is beyond imagination. No. Whatever is the human mind can conceive, it can deliver, it can make. That is Indian philosophy. So, in this process, the meditation, the rishis have said this nirguna bhasana, the reality is that let us meditate. But what Hinduism has found out is that it doesn't give you some prescriptions like other religions do, which does not align itself to human nature. It is not in human nature to concentrate on something which is very approved. You can't really focus your mind. If somebody tells you to focus on principle, if you try, it is very difficult. So, what Hinduism does is that you go with your natural swabhava, natural tendencies. So, what they said, you like mother, you like stone, you like father, you like child, friend, lover, husband, wife, any form you do. Attribute the fullest qualities, the full power of the qualities to see. If you like your mother, what you do? You would like to see your mother in all the qualities in its fullness. Kindness itself, she feeds you at all the time, she doesn't object you. So everything, beautiful, good looking, understanding, everything. Only then your mind goes. So the children, when they start loving somebody, that age group, they would like their spouses or whom they love to be the best among the opposite sex. That is only then they will get focused. It is a natural way of reacting to things. The same principle, without people knowing it, Hinduism employs in self-realization. So that's why so many worship of gods and names and forms have come. This worship of name and God have come based on your disposition. So, in reality, there is the worship of the abstract principle through meditation is called Nirguna Upasana, whereas worshipping through individual gods of names and forms is called Saguna Aradhana. As many tendencies are there in this world, so as many devatas are there in this world. You can worship anything you want. That is the stand of Hinduism. So, this is where the position stands. But when you start doing Saguna Aradhana, after some time, you reach the Nirguna Aradhana level, then the Saguna Aradhana will drop itself. So, but having said that, in Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna that in whatever form you worship me, I will come and give you the palas you expect of me in the same form. So, since it is an esoteric science, at the philosophical point, it stands that the process of doing Saguna Aradhana leads as a first step to Nirguna Aradhana is from the philosophical point. But what Krishna says is that he would, even as a Paramatman, he just comes down to the earth and give you the result through the other form, is also acceptable when you only travel. So there are some questions in life which you don't get an answer. Life does not owe you an explanation. You have to seek the answers, right? Life doesn't owe you anybody any explanation. So I am just presenting these two facts. So in the shloka period also, I will be presenting the various angles without my angle. But my angle is basically an Advaita, Adi Shankaracharya's, attitude I have. But I don't project it on anybody. So one is Advaita angle of Vishnu Sahasranama, second is Dvaita, third is Vishishtadvaita, then modern science, and also from The other 6 systems are Indian philosophy. So please bear in mind that. Now, we got so many gods. Now so many gods in Saguna Aradhana we have, and what are the process of worshipping. Till now the point is clear. Any doubts you have?
No, sir.
No problem, right? Now, what are the process? One is, if you want to get a job done by somebody whom you think is superior to you, what you should do? You praise them. Right? That is Stuti. That is called Stotra. That is done by ordinary man. Anybody, whatever he says is Stotra. The second is, the Stotras, the second level, it comes more important, is this Veda Suktas. Suktas are those things which are sung by the great seers of Vishnu, great seers in the Veda period, and they carry more power than what you or we say, because they have possessed that power. So the mantras that come from Vedas, they carry more power. In the sense that you have the Pancha Sukta, that is Purusha Sukta, Narayana Sukta, Vishnu Sukta, Sri Sukta, Durga Sukta, Nila Sukta, Bhagya Sukta, all these things, and Sri Rudra, Shamaka, Namaka, they carry more power. So you were chanting Yastuti, for example, normal sloka, somebody who has sung, and say Dr. Rajkumar has sung some songs on Raghavendra Swami, or so many people, right? Some people. So that is a beginning. The next step will be the stotra by great seers like Adi Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Swami Daisikan, this group. The third step will be the one composed by the great seers, rishis in Veda. The next will come the mantras. What are mantras? Mantras, they are also a part of the whatever suktas or the information I have given, what is being given in the Vedas. But specifically, certain mantras are there. These mantras are grasped from either. Manana iti mantraha, grayate iti mantraha. The one you keep on repeating, it starts giving you the results. So these are all sounds grasped from either. See, there are sounds which, as human beings, we produce. Animals produce sounds, and birds produce sound, plants produce sound. In addition to that, sounds are also produced out there in the ether, which we cannot really know unless we are equipped with some special powers or special, dispensations. This sound, which is not created by us, a human being, is called ahata. This sound is grasped by the rishis and transferred in the form of sounds. Mantras are not to be written and then learned. Vedas are not to be written and learned. They are not letters. It is not a language. It is management of sound. The every management of sound is only a syllable. The syllable, when these letters, when we start writing any letter, when you produce a syllable, it gives you mystically their law. And they produce a vibration and give you the result. So that is mantra procedure. So some mantras will suit somebody, some mantras may not suit somebody, because it is not a general prescription. See, you have general antibiotics, right? But when you go to a doctor, see, your basic, whatever is the antibiotic, the broad spectrum antibiotic is the basic antibiotic for a serious illness. But the doctor gives you a specific antibiotic, because if he is a family doctor, he knows what would suit you. Similarly, the mantras also, it has to suit one individually. There is no such thing as a universal sanction. That is the reason for same mantra, one mantra will be useful to you. The same mantra, another mantra addressed to the same God may not be useful to you. That we have to remember. These are secrets between mantras. Then how to do the mantras? There are two ways. One is doing parayana. That is like you do Sundarakanda, you keep on reading it. Like you are hearing Vishnu Sahasranama when M.S. Amma is singing. Or Lalita Sahasranama from Bombay Sisters are singing. That is more like Parayana. But Japa is one where there are three types. That is called Japa. In Japa, there are three levels of Japa. One is when you start chanting the mantras, the sound will come. Now, as I say, Sahasra Sirusha Purusha, you can hear the sound. This is, in Sanskrit, is called Adama. That is not useful, but okay, chalta hai. Next, same thing I am saying. My lips are without sound.
Yeah.
Third one, no sound, no lip movement, running in the mind. The third one is the one which will give you the best result. Right? This is Japa. Now, these three stages are found. Now, we have two more procedures. This is through the management of sound. This is how the stotra by vocal. Then one more method is called through yantra. You draw some geometrical shape and you worship. That is Sri Yantra you have, Kubera Yantra you have, so many yantras are there. So, Sri Yantra. The third one is Tantra. That is, there are certain practices where you use mantra and Tantra, and also you involve your bodily part to interact to worship. Because the Parabrahman is yourself. What is in the macrocosm is in the microcosm. Therefore, you represent the universe. So they do it. This is called Santa Sastra. In this aspect, two great Sahasranamas are a combination of all the three. Mantra, Tantra and Yantra. These are Sri Vishnu Sahasranama and Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Thanks to MS, we are taking Vishnu Sahasranama, everybody is taking Vishnu Sahasranama very lately because she comes to your house when you are cooking or 6:15 in the morning you play. But it is a Maha Mantra. So it contains all these aspects of Mantra, Tantra and Yantra, as also the Sri Lalita Sahasranama. So this is the basis of the Sahasranama. What is the meaning of Sahasra? Sahasra means 1,000. When you are talking about Sahasranama, in Vishnu Sahasranama, what happens is, when you are worshipping somebody, you keep on enumerating the qualities which you think are beyond you, and then you are asking the sublime qualities in its fullness. When you say Sahasra, the meaning is only innumerable. It doesn't mean it's exact 1,000. No. Sometimes it may be 1,008, some may be 1,000. In fact, Vishnu Sahasranama contains only 901 names, specific names addressed to Vishnu. Out of 901 names, 850 names are chanted once, that is unique names. Then 75 names occur twice. 9 names occur thrice. 4 names occur twice. 4 times. Totally 901. So the point one has to understand is that we are disrupting the reality. When we are talking about the Parabrahman, we are worshipping him in its human form. In the aspect we can understand. So, in Vishnu Sahasranama, you will find that Mahavishnu is described as Paramatman and also as a Jivatma. How he is beyond us, he is also among us. In Sri Vishnu Sahasranama, there is no clear delineation of this description. For example, you will find in Sri Lalita Sahasranama, the format like this. The basis will be there here, the famous will be invocation, the same in Vishnu Sahasranama. After this, Purvanga, what is the sloka about, etc., etc., etc. It will go. After that, Anganyasa, Karanyasa. Then you will have the sloka. In Lalita, the description of the God. This is generally in all Sahasranama. Whereas, in Lalita Sahasranama, now it starts with Sri Pura destruction. Mother Lalita Devi's description, then Sripura destruction, then her avatar, then Bhandasura avatar, then Nirguna Upasana, then Saguna Upasana, then Aikyana Santana, then Palasruti. There, the point I am making, there the Nirguna Upasana, Nirguna are described in a separate section. You can directly identify. Whereas in Saguna Upasana as an individual god, you can identify in a group. Whereas in Vishnu Sahasranama, it will get interspersed. That is, for example, the first Nama will start from Sadhana. Om Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. Now first is Vishwam, universal attribute. Simple. He is the manifestation of the entire universe. Vishnu. Vishnu is taken in two meanings. The word Vishnu comes from the word Jishnu. Vishnu, Jishnu, Mahavishnu, Prabhu Vishnu, Maheshwaram. He is the supporter. So here it is also the quality, it is all the name we ascribe. So it is also both Saguna and also Nirguna. Vashatkara, it is something equal to Pranava. I will explain when I start talking about Vashatkara. Bhuta, Bhavya, Bhavat Prabhu. Again, universal attribute. Bhutatut, Bhava, Pudatma, Purana, Pudatma, Paramatma, Chamtanam, Paramagri, Avya Purusa, Sakshi, Kshetra, Charayevacha. Everything goes on. Then again it will start coming Achyudha, again Pradidaha. So what happened? What I am saying, this universal attribute and individual attribute will keep on occurring in Vishnu Sahasranama. Now, what will happen if you do Vishnu Sahasranama? In Parashruti, Vishnu Sahasranama, they say, Brahmins will get Jnana, Kshatriyas Vijaya, Shudra Sukham, Vaisya Dhana Samvriddhi. But I have experienced in person, personally, Vishnu Sahasranama, if not anything, it will give you mental peace and quiet. When you start the Vishnu Sahasranama, by the time you finish it, whatever your mind will have, whatever problems you have been facing, your mind will come to rest. That is one of the advantages of, one of the untold benefits of Sri Vishnu Sahasranama. Now, this Vishnu Sahasranama is, who said this? Who said this to whom? Where was it? And what is so special? Why it is being rated very high? After all, it is by Vishnu. By standards on Vishnu. By Vishnu Purana itself, the greatest stuti addressed to Vishnu is by Dhruva Stuti addressed to Mahavishnu by Dhruva. The second is Indra Stuti by Indra to Krishna as Govinda. But where does this come? This Vishnu Purana occurs in Anushasana Parva of Mahabharata, 135th chapter in Vyasa Mahabharata. Vyasa has written over about 1,000 versions. I have written an article on this, detailed article, over 1,000 versions of Mahabharata. This release depends on each yuga and kalpa. What is being released to us today is what we are supposed to know. Now, in this Mahabharata, the speciality about is the place where it is chanted. The place it is chanted is Kurukshetra, where the battle is taking place between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. Even though the Mahabharata battle is a historical fact, it also contains allegories. Your desires, your trials and tribulations are myriad in your lives, whereas the good tendencies are limited. That is, Pancha Pandavas or Pancha Indriyas, your sense organs. Kauravas are 100, your desires are too much. But the Pandavas undergo lots of difficulties. Finally, they emerge victorious. How? With the presence of Chitta or Suddha Chitta in the form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. When you keep your intellect in position, you will be able to conquer whatever temptations and problems you face in life by regulating your sense organs. It is why this is a representation of human struggle for existence explained in Mahabharata, in Vishnu Sahasranama and also in general Mahabharata. And this sloka, two great discourses have happened in Mahabharata. One is the Bhagavad-Gita, and Bhagavad-Gita came first, later came the Vishnu Sahasranama. Vishnu Sahasranama was recited when Bhishmacharya was hit by Arjuna and he was laid down by Arjuna, and Bhishma had the unique boon that he can leave the body only if he desires. He is the only man who has been granted the boon that he can die only. He can choose the time of his death. He did not choose to die because it was Dakshinayana. Now we are in Uttarayana Punyakala. Now he was waiting for Uttarayana. Now at that point of time, two important things have happened. Now it also would tell you some of the finer points in Indian culture and relationship. Bhishma, probably you know the story. He is called, his original name was Devavrata. He has been called by the Devas as Iti Bhishma, the man who has done the thing which is impossible for a human being to do. He has chosen to be a Naistika Brahmachari because he wanted his father to marry some other woman, and that would be father-in-law of his father hesitated to give his daughter's hand to his Bhishma's father, apprehending that Bhishma, being the elder son, his own children will lay a claim to the throne. Then Bhishma declared, I will never marry. Not only that, he protected. More important, what people do not know, why he is being ordered. This comes in Tantra Shastra in the sense that he is called a Naistika Brahmachari. Naistika Brahmachari, his own, energy will never drop down to the earth. Urdhvaredam Guru Paksha. So even in sleep, he will not let it down. So that is the strength he had, that no human being can do it, because even unconsciously he was controlling. And that sort of a thing he has done, and he was the embodiment of Dharma. That point of time, when he fell down, when he was totally detached, doing his karma, even though he knew he had given a verb to his mother, he would protect the kingdom. Apparently, he was totally detached. What happened was, first thing is, he did not know how to lie down. So when he lay down, he started moaning in pain. Then he asked everybody to give them a asana to lie down, sleep, asike. Everybody gave everything, bread, soft, nothing. Then he looked at Arjuna. Then Krishna said, Arjuna, you do it. He immediately made a bed of arrows, because when you are hit by arrows, the arrows will come down and it will be uneven. So when you lie down in the ground with those arrows, the pain will be more. So what he did was, he made a bed of even height with arrows and made Bhishma lie there, so it was even. The next question, that is why he is rated high, Arjuna. He is rated high because not only because of him, because Krishna is also there. The next is, then Arjuna, he says, Bhishma says, he is yearning for water. I am thirsty. People keep on giving water. He is never satisfied. Actually thirst didn't go. Then Krishna looked at Arjuna. He didn't say anything. Arjuna, why don't you take care of your great grandfather? Arjuna simply went near him. Near his right side, he just sent an arrow into the earth. his Bhishma's mother Ganga came in the form of water. Then Bhishma drank. That Karma Yogi had that attachment to his mother. Then his thirst was quenched. Then Yudhishthira asks, Kimekam Daivatam Loke Kimbapyekam Parayanam Stuvannakam Kamachanta Prapniyat Manavasu. Thus came the Vishnu Sahasranama. Before that, when Yudhishthira asked this question, Bhishma just looks at Krishna. Krishna is asking a question, why don't you answer? Krishna again keeps quiet. Then Yudhishthira asks, grandfather, what are you saying? See, why are you going around in circles? He is personification, he is Parabrahma Swarupa. Why don't you ask Krishna, why don't you just say which is the best God? Why don't you say about yourself? Then Krishna replies, Bhishma, it's not correct. I am the man who lays down the rule. It is easy for a man to lay down the rules. But Dharma Shankara, the man who follows it knows the difficulty of following a rule. You are the embodiment of all those rules. So rather than me seeing this, you say it because you deserve it and the truth also deserves that. So this has come in the presence of Krishna through the mouth of Bhishmacharya and also in the presence of Yudhishthira, an embodiment of Dharma himself, in the place where the human desires fight with human tendency to do good and they raise itself to universal, to reach the universal being, the Paramatma. This is the importance that is being given to Sri Vishnu Sahasranama. In Vishnu Sahasranama, originally Mahabharata was written 100,000 words, 1 lakh verses. These 1 lakh verses was recited when Sarpa Yaga was conducted by Vaishampayana to Janamejaya. Then later the story keeps on going. Now this is the basis of Sri Vishnu Sahasranama. Now, as I said a little while before, this contains the various parts. Number 1, you address it to the universal God. The second is Purvanga, that is the preparation. Like in cooking, you cut the you cut the tarkari and keep, like this Purvanga. Then the main Anganyasa, Karanyasa, when you chant a mantra, 2 things are to be protected. Number 1, have to be born in mind. One is your mind should meditate, concentrate. But it is of human nature to find out. It is very difficult to control or regulate your mind when you especially attempt. Krishna gives an answer to that in Bhagavad-Gita. He tells Arjuna, it is very difficult to control me. Because the moment you try to control, the mind will run away more from you. So Krishna says a solution. Simple. There are 2 methods to do it. Number 1, you will have to have Vairagya. The second is Abhyasa. Abhyasa and Vairagya. Vairagya means right determination. Sankalpa, Drita Sankalpa. So Krishna said, the best thing, you want to rein in the mind, first you sit in a place, quiet place, sit comfortably, no need of doing all these things and sitting in yoga. Whatever you feel comfortable, you sit. Then you sit, close your eyes so that the stimuli doesn't distract you. Then your mind is going, just as a watcher, you allow, like a horse, you know that your mind is going. Even now, when you are meditating, your mind is not listening to you. What Krishna is saying, you just watch it run. Mind also, like a horse, will go after a lot of things for some time. After some time, you will notice it is getting tired. When you are trying to meditate, you may start off what is going to be your office work, what is your mother doing, what are the dishes she is making, what are the financial. But again, mind, it will go one by one. The mind is like a monkey, it won't stay in one place. It will talk 1, 2, 3, 4, keep on. You just keep on watching as a sakshi, as a witness. At a point, it will get slowly, then you catch it. That is the trick in this. To help you aid in this, the Anganyasa and Karanyasa are done in your body. This is to help you better, where you install the specific devatas to your Anga, bodily parts. Second, Anganyasa. In hand also, Karanyasa. Nya is how to do it. This also has one more reason behind it. When you start doing something good, something auspicious like mantra, you will get unexpected blocks, disturbances. Think that proceed. Supposing you want to do some puja or something you have made up your mind to do, some things which you have never expected will turn up. To end, some disturbance will always be there. To make sure that it doesn't disturb you, the Anganyasa and Karanyasa are done. After this Anganyasa and Karanyasa, you have the main body of the mantras, shloka. Then you give the what are the palas, what are the net result. Then you complete the stuti. This is a basic structure. Now one more question will arise. Now, why should we do this Anganyasa and Karanyasa? Why should we offer Nivedyam to God? I believe in God. I am pure in my heart. Why should I do this, Yachamana and Pranayama, Anganyasa, Karanyasa? Why should I take bath? Why should I... See, first I'll answer this question. People generally ask this question. See, I know God. I believe in God. Why should I go all this nonsense? See, you are going to school. You are supposed to wear a uniform. You have a fixed time. You have a specific teacher. Some discipline is required, number one. The second process, you should understand, it is a question of deceiving your mind. The mind has to be deceived. That is, when you start baking this, the mind keeps on observing. What is this? This girl is doing this. So the mind is fixed here only. It doesn't run. When you do this Anganyasa, Karanyasa and the preparation, and you do that puja room, then you do that flowers arrangement, then Dhupa Deepa, everything you set right. What you call today, people who pay 20 rupees for a coffee, they pay 300 rupees in a 5-star hotel. For the same quality, in most of the cases, I have found that to be worse. Why? They call it in the name of ambience. Now to put it in modern man's language, it is the ambience for performing something sacred. That is one reason. Second, why do you offer Naivedya? People have a tendency of asking rational questions. Why do you do Abhisheka? For this amount you spend on this milk, you can feed somebody poor. I just don't understand this argument in the sense that if somebody doesn't want to work, why do you force me to feed somebody? I should like, no? Why don't you feed some poor? No, I just don't understand. See, I like you. See, you buy a saree for your mother. Somebody were to come and tell you, why do you buy this saree for your mother? Why don't you give to some poor people? Why? No, I am talking in the, common sense, no? You love something. See, you have a child in your house. You want to decorate it. You love it. You just offer something to it. Then why should somebody come and comment on that? So that is one. The second is, the real reason for offering Naivedya is, anything that exists in the world is not yours. Nothing is yours. What are you offering to God? Fruits? Have you made it? Simply because you pay 10 rupees or 30 rupees for a thing in guy, you create that. When you offer somebody, you should have your own. You have nothing to own. What are you offering? The reason why we are offering, anything that you produce in the world by nature has guna dosha. Anything that is produced has its impurity. When you offer that to God, the God takes the impurity and it gives you back. And the second is, it is a question of thanking somebody, the man who has given you everything, for you to enjoy. So it is a question of this. So people have to understand the reason behind all this. These are all some nonsense. So when you cook something, who should I eat? You don't give. People of experience can always find when you offer a Naivedya to God and take that food, definitely it will taste better. And I'll give you, for example, when you start cooking, if you chant some mantras, whatever mantra, and keep on cooking. I have seen ladies doing it in my, in my house they do it. The food will become taste better. Whatever is dedicated to God, taste better. This I just wanted to tell you so that people have to understand whatever karmas they do. Why do you do puja? Now you can give an answer. See, when you
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Yeah. I think I got only for 10 minutes. No, I'll complete. Okay.
Yes.
So, when you do something, it's better we know the background. See, a fire will burn your finger, whether you know fire burns you or doesn't burn. But at the same time, if you know about fire, it is more useful. Similarly, performing these pujas and mantras and following Dharma Shastra with meaning is useful. At the same time, people should know the mantras are not some text where you go by meanings alone. They are only sound waves. Those syllables produce the effect. So that is what you have to understand. When people start translating the meaning of Gayatri, what is the meaning of Gayatri? You read that? Very loosely put. That which kindles my mind into awakening, into knowledge, I meditate upon that principle. Does this sound very great? No. But the sound. If you want to pronounce Gayatri, you pronounce it in 5 paras. It will come in Chanda. It is called Anushtup Chanda. This Vishnu Sahasranama falls under the Chanda. Chanda means a tune in which it has to be recited. That also I will do it. From the next class, I will be taking straight away into the Vishnu Sahasranama, starting with the invocation of the universal God. That universal God here, whom I mean, is Ganesha. So many of you may not know that Shuklam Bharadam is not addressed to Ganesha at all. Many people think we are doing it to Ganesha. The Sanskrit meaning of Shuklam Bharadam doesn't indicate it is Ganesha at all. I will do that from the next class. Any other doubts? You are able to follow whatever I have said?
Yes, sir.
Is simple? Yeah. Then you would like me to proceed in the same pace, or you would like me to go a little faster when it comes to the concept level and the sloka level? Or the space is okay for you to follow?
Yes, sir. This is okay.
Okay. Any doubts? You are free to ask me. Is the audio clear? I think you are finding it little strange to hear.
Yeah. Yes.
Right from the beginning or just now? Right now or right from the beginning?
No. Right now, sir, it's actually stuck, I think so.
Yeah, probably what happens is I was taking class for Lalita Sahasranama yesterday. That also, totally about 4 classes running. So Lalita Sahasranama toward the end, evening 5:30, from Dubai they said, then I immediately gave them solution. There is an internet bandwidth problem could be there for you. Just to shut down the video. After when you reduce the video, your bandwidth gives better. Now you will be able to hear better. So you can try that option. Now any other doubt you have, please ask me. Then we will straight away go into the text from tomorrow. At the same time, 5:45, I will share the link. I think 6 o'clock,
Sure.
we will start the class. Now, any doubts you ask, you can ask me any doubt, whatever we have covered. Any other doubt you have in Sanatana Dharma. You have any questions, please ask me.
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 5:45. You can log in. Then we will proceed with the Sahasranama portion from tomorrow. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.